Hi, my name is Mike Colleen. You can check out my website at Mike Colleen, that's KOLLIN.com, Mike, and then KOLLIN.com. My number is 415-456-8558. Now, I decided to make some free clips to give you some tips, and I don't really like to teach tips because it doesn't give you an understanding. When you have an understanding of what's going on behind the scenes, and that's what my course is about, it's about what's going on unconsciously with women and the way the female mating system is wired so you can trigger her mating system. It'll attract her to you, it'll draw her in, and it'll make her want to be with you. And the good news is you won't have to spend a ton of money. In fact, if you're spending money to attract a woman, it's not actually attracting her to you, and eventually she'll take the gifts, the things, and she will leave for another guy. And here's the thing. You hear this from guys all the time. Like, God, what is she doing with that guy? He's a jerk. He never buys her thing. I buy her flowers. I spent all this money. I just talked to another guy last week who told me how he spent all his money on this girl, and he maxed out on his finances, and she left him. She left him for a guy who makes half the amount of money he makes, who doesn't have a home like he does, doesn't have a nice car like he does. And it makes you kind of wonder, why do we constantly hear Ariel, have you not ever seen this? Have you not heard these stories where she leaves this guy that's nice, who has money, for this guy who doesn't even have a job? Yeah. There's actually a reason for it, because this guy who doesn't have a job, he's not trying to attract her with money by paying for things. Now, when you understand the female mating system, that will make a lot of sense. I'm going to start with our mating system. The mating system are in the smaller brain, the reptilian brain. We have the larger human brain, the left hemisphere and the right. But then underneath is the old reptilian, or what I call the caveman brain. This is why I call my course Caveman Technologies. Both our mating systems for men and women are in the smaller brain. Here's the deal. For guys, the nerve connects him to the back of his eyes through the optic nerve, which means we're visual. We're sexually turned on visually. So we look at a pretty girl in a pretty skirt dress, nice body, maybe pornographic magazine pictures and images. Visual, visual, visual. Okay? Now, women know this. They laugh and they don't like it. In fact, it actually upsets women because women are not wired that way. Her mating system, it's in the same place, but the nerve breaks off to her right brain emotional communication center. Now, as I said in my other videos, men are left brain. Women are right brain and left, but our home is her right brain, especially when you note that her mating system is connected to her right brain's emotional communication center. Women's mating systems are triggered completely different than yours. Completely different. All right? Now, I know right now girls are going, oh, well, I don't know about that. We're very visual. I've heard this a million times. And I say, oh, okay. So what happens if you meet this guy? He's beautiful. He's 6'4", or whatever your type is. Dark hair, blonde, blue, whatever. You take him home to your girlfriends, or your cousins, or your mom, and your aunts, and the minute he opens his mouth, he sounds like an idiot. Every single, I've been doing this for 13, 14 years. Every single woman and girl that I've talked to, oh, yeah, that's like a major turnoff. Even girls that are 18, 19 years old. It doesn't matter. Women are turned off by a guy who can't communicate well. Now, I've had I'm thinking of one specifically, a client who had his master's degree in communication. I go, no. That's left brain logical communication. Her mating system is connected to the right brain emotional communication system. And the language is called the internal language. Now that is what you want to learn how to speak if you want to trigger a woman's mating system. Another word for that is romance or seduce. My course teaches you how to draw women to you, to feel very comfortable with women. You know, I think that's probably a really key thing that I'm going to go over right now. A lot of guys are like, I am afraid of women. I have approach anxiety. Women are mean. And you know what? You're right. They're mean to guys who are using the left. No, even if you're being nice. But when you're using the left brain approach, which is very linear, which is very narrow and very focused, even when you're smiling, it pushes women away. And it freaks them out, actually. A lot of guys, but I wasn't trying to freak out. I was being really nice. Right. As I've said in my past video, when men express their love, communicate, and try to turn a woman on in the male linear way, which is normal and healthy for a male, it actually scares women. It either scares them, hurts their feelings, or it pisses them off. That's why, as I was saying earlier, we were at brunch today, and they were like, well, what do you do, Mike? I'm like, well, male to female communication. I specialize in dating and relationship coaching. They're like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, for example, I help men to understand women. Have you ever bought a girl a gift, roses, flowers, and she grabbed it and she threw it on the ground and she stomped off? And one of the guys at the table looked at me and he looked at his girlfriend and he goes, yeah, he goes, why did you do that? And she shook her head like, oh, geez. And that's the thing, guys. Our mating systems are wired differently. We receive love differently. When you try to buy a woman, see, all right, we're visual. So what does that mean? That means we value gold, white gold, blue emerald, gem, diamonds. We think of things and money. The more money we spend, the more I'm expressing my love. Well, that's actually normal for men because that's our job. But guess what? Women receive love through communication, a certain form of communication. It's right brain communication. When you learn how to give women mental stimulation and emotional fulfillment through love, through communication, she will open up and have sex with you. I'm going to tell you something right now which you may not understand, well, you won't understand, but when you take my course, you will clearly understand it. Women connect mentally, then emotionally, and then sexually. Guys do it the other way around. Now, I'm going to save that for later. So, I'm going to give you a couple do's and don'ts, okay? When you go to a club, a lounge, a bar, maybe a restaurant, do not buy her drinks. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Not even on your first date. I'll tell you why. Women are looking for emotional communications. Now, I'm actually going to do a sidetrack here. This is important. A lot of guys hear emotions, emotional. Women don't want you to be crybabies. They don't want you to be crying at a movie and expressing and whining. That's not what she wants. She's saying express your emotions in a way that she can connect to, in a way that she can relate to. You can express anger, power, passion, but it has to be done in what's called the internal language. You learn how to do that, not only will she open her heart to you, she will completely surrender to you emotionally. And then she'll make love to you. I was talking about expressing your emotions in a way that she can understand, not being a whiner, not being, because in the whole 60s and 70s movement, she's saying A, but we're hearing B. A lot of guys think if I cry at movies, if I'm emotional, that's going to make her, oh my God, he's so sensitive. She might think that, but that's not what she wants. That is not what triggers her mating system. She wants a man. What she's looking for when I talk about express your emotions is this. There's a language called the internal language. It's the right brain language, the emotional creative brain, not the logical male left brain. When you learn how to speak this language, you can express power, anger, happiness, sadness. It's literally the language that women can understand and relate to. When you come home and say, I feel great, or I'm mad, she's like, well, what does that mean? She doesn't understand. All right? So this is what my course is about. It's the core of my course, and I'm going to kind of skip along. We got some other things here. But I will teach you what that specifically means, and it will open up a brand new world to you about what women... You're going to hear women for the first time in your life. You're going to realize your entire life, she was saying A, but you were hearing B. Now you're going to hear A. You're going to understand what she's saying, and that's going to give you a major advantage on picking up on women. You're going to understand how to trigger her mating system and what women truly want. And it's done, again, through communication, and that's what I teach in my course. Now, so we talk about express emotions, directly triggering her mating system, okay? I'm just going to say that. My course teaches you how to directly trigger a woman's mating system, turn her on, guys, draw her to you, attract her to you sexually in a way that she wants to be with you without spending a dime. In fact, that's the next point. Don't buy drinks. There's a story that I want to go along with that because it'll help you understand why you don't buy a girl drinks. A lot of guys think, oh, well, if I pay for drinks, she's gonna appreciate that. No, it's actually gonna piss her off. It's the same thing when you buy girls candies or flowers, and she eventually will throw them on the ground because you're not expressing your love through communication. You're paying for stuff again. That's the male way of doing things, not the female way, which is internal, which is emotional. I'm going to give you a story about a girl at a club in San Francisco. I used to hang out with the bouncers at this club, and this girl would come every night, and for weeks, maybe even months. And we got to know her after a while. Well, she would walk in. She was a pretty girl, and she had that attitude. And she would only talk to really rich guys with a business suit and $10,000 gold watch and, all that stuff. And we would watch her night after night after night, watch and see how much. We would make bets and say, how much you think she's going to get this guy to spend tonight. These guys would easily spend $60, if not $100. Some guys would buy them big bottles of champagne that were like $200 each, plus mixed drinks that were $15, $20. You know what she would do? She'd give him a handshake, maybe if they're lucky, a kiss on the cheek. And then she'd walk away and she'd go, you're a nice guy. If a girl tells you you're a nice guy, immediately say, no, I'm not. If she's saying you're nice, she's saying I'm not sexually attracted to you, but we can be friends. You're nice. Women are looking for men, not the emotional crybaby men. That is not what triggers a woman's mating system. And if you don't believe me, ask a woman. All right? So this girl would do this night after night. And one night she comes in and we talk to her and my buddy goes, so who's your victim tonight? And she goes, shut up. He goes, it's true. Well, we talked to her and we go, why do you do that to guys? I mean, it's kind of getting out of hand. And she goes, I'm looking for a guy who understands that I don't want him to pay for drinks because I'm not going to have sex with him. She said, whenever a guy offers to buy me drinks, I'm not going to have sex. And I said, why? She goes, he's paying for sex. That's rude. Do you realize what he's acting like? He's treating me like if he pays enough money for dinner or drinks, I'm going to have sex. Guys, that actually pisses women off. How many times have you ever heard a woman say, well, just take me to a cheap place. Let's go Dutch. In fact, I'm going to tell you something right now. It is better for you to tell a girl right off the bat, I don't know you very well, so on our first date, let's go Dutch, or you can buy. I'll get the second time. All right? I'm telling you right now, don't pay for dinner. Don't take her out to a fancy, expensive dinner because all right. Here's what it's saying to a woman. It is telling a woman that you don't have communication skills, that you don't have social skills. So you're relying on the old way of, I'm the man, I'll just pay, and then she'll give me sex and she'll marry me. I don't have any skills. Remember, communication, body language, social skills, social awareness is what triggers a female's mating system. I teach all of this in my course, okay? Let's see, girls clubs. I tell you what, for now, go ahead and give me a call, 415-456-8558 at MikeColeen.com. That's KOLLIN.com, MikeColeen.com. Thank you.